Welcome back. 5:45 is our time this morning. A federal judge in California could soon upend the federal government's immigration enforcement operations there, and more evidence of an alarming increase in violence facing immigration enforcement agents around the country. Let's bring in Fox's Doug Luzader, joining us live from Washington, D.C. this morning with more. Doug, good morning. Happy Friday.
Hey, Danielle, good morning.
Good to see you, Doug. So let's start with that. So it does seem, right, like immigration agents were met with protesters again yesterday in California.
They were, and it got pretty violent at times. There was one protester that the federal agents say pointed a gun at them, so there is now an FBI reward of $50,000 being offered to lead to the conviction of that individual. But we have, seen these stepped-up attacks on immigration enforcement agents really around the country. We also have this case that is brewing in Southern California, which essentially involves the allegation that ICE agents have been violating constitutional rights in these immigration sweeps. Now, the federal judge in that case, a Biden appointee, has certainly hinted at the fact that she's going to issue a restraining order today. We don't know how broad that's going to be, but it could have a big impact on these immigration enforcement efforts.
You talk about a broad impact. How enforceable would that be, though? Because we do see that these raids are happening and that they do continue to happen, right? And so in terms of enforcement, what are we looking at here, Doug?
Well, again, it depends on the order, this is a temporary restraining order that would come down. We don't know how broad it would be. It may just involve that part of California, but that's, central to a lot of these immigration enforcement operations. So, I think the federal government is certainly concerned about the prospect of a restraining order here, and what this judge did was issue a kind of a preliminary sort of ruling for what she thinks right now, but she indicates that she'll come up with the actual wording perhaps in a release later today.
And staying on the judge's theme here this morning, Doug, a judge has blocked the president's executive order on birthright citizenship.
Yeah, this birthright citizenship question has been brewing for a while, and of course this is the one that triggered the Supreme Court case, not so much on birthright citizenship, but on a larger issue of whether judges could issue restraining orders, nationwide restraining orders on single cases. And this is something that has bedeviled the Trump administration. Other administrations have faced this as well. It's become much more common in recent years where a single federal judge will just kind of make a decree for the entire country. The Supreme Court basically said you can't really do that unless there are very specific circumstances. This now involves a class action, and that may be the workaround here. And there are a lot of legal scholars that think that ultimately this effort to curtail birthright citizenship will not hold up in federal courts. We'll see. The fight goes on here.
DOJ in January, Doug, cut thousands and thousands of government jobs, and now we understand the State Department is beginning some mass layoffs soon.
Yeah, we're going to see these notices go off as the State Department goes through what they call a workforce reduction. They're going to go through a number of layoffs. We've seen this happen in other agencies as well. There had been some legal challenges. There still are legal challenges involving a lot of these, but the Supreme Court has also given the administration a fair amount of leeway to carry out these firings, layoffs, whatever you want to call them, while the legal battles continue.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Fox's Doug Luzader, thanks for joining us, Doug. Have a great weekend. We'll do it again next week.